Okay, so I have a hypothetical for you to start things off. And I should warn you, it's a little uncomfortable.
I'm already bracing myself.
Imagine you're at a dinner party. You know the vibe, good food, maybe some wine, everyone's laughing, talking about sports or whatever.
Hmm.
And then right in the middle of dessert, the person next to you leans in, looks you right in the eye, and asks, "So if you didn't wake up tomorrow, does your family know exactly what to do with everything?"
Wow. That is the ultimate party foul. That is a conversation stopper right there.
It is. It's the question nobody wants to answer. But here's the thing, and this is the, unsettling realization we're starting with today. Most people, if they're being totally honest, would probably just say no.
Or, I have a vague idea,
But a vague
maybe.
idea, right? Or my spouse knows where the passwords are, that kind of thing.
Right. Or the classic, I'm young, I'll get to it someday.
Exactly. Someday. But we're diving into a stack of materials today that suggests something pretty shocking, actually. Wait, you might think you don't have a plan because you haven't, visited a lawyer, but you do have a plan.
It's just not the plan you wrote. It's the plan the government wrote for you.
That is the hook that really grabbed me. We're doing a deep dive today into resources, workshop descriptions, podcast transcripts from an organization called Claim My Legacy.
Right.
And I should say up front, this is all geared specifically toward families in Arizona.
Which is a crucial distinction because laws, they stop at state lines.
Hmm.
But the central theme here, the mission, if you will, is really about control. It's about navigating the difference between leaving a legacy
Which sounds intentional and dignified.
and leaving what these sources quite bluntly call a mess.
A mess. Yeah, they don't sugarcoat it. And frankly, I was a little surprised by the terminology. We think of estate planning as this dry, boring legal thing, but they use terms like the government default plan and the probate trap.
Sounds almost
Yeah.
adversarial.
Antagonistic, yeah. Like the system is out to get you.
I think antagonistic might be a bit strong, but, indifferent is definitely accurate. Bureaucracies are rarely kind. And I think we need to set the stage by dispelling a massive myth.
Okay.
The idea that estate planning is for the yacht and mansion crowd.
Right. The I'm not a Rockefeller, so why do I care
Not
mindset.
exactly. But the reality, according to these documents, is that it's not about the value of what you have. It's about who has the final say over it.
Oh, okay.
Whether you have $10 million or $10,000 in a checking account, if you don't have a plan, the state of Arizona steps in as the referee.
And from what I've read, that referee is expensive, slow, and doesn't really care about your family's feelings. So here's the roadmap for this deep dive. We're going to unpack this default plan, this thing called probate.
Mm-hmm.
We'll look at the human cost, which I actually found much more compelling than the financial part.
The emotional toll is often the hidden tax in all of this.
It is. And then we're going to cover the solution presented in the material. There are specific free resources available for Arizona families to opt out of this government plan. But first, let's talk about the beast itself, the default plan.
Let's do it.
So help me understand this, because I think most people assume, and I'll admit I kind of assume this too, that if I die without a will, my wife, my kids, they just get everything. It's logical, right?
It's logical to you, but the law isn't based on your logic. It's
Yeah.
based on statutes. The source material calls this escaping the probate trap.
Okay.
So here's how it works. When there's no clear legal entity, like a trust, holding your assets, the government essentially freezes them.
Freezes them.
Yeah, to make sure all debts are paid and titles are transferred correctly according to the state's formula. That whole process. That's probate.
Okay, freezes is the scary word. What does that actually look like? Are we talking about police tape on the front door?
No, it's more bureaucratic than that, which almost makes it worse. It means bank accounts are locked. You can't sell the car. The house title is in limbo.
So you can't just walk into the bank and say, "I'm the spouse, give me the money."
Nope. The bank will say, "Who are you?" Legally. We need a court order.
And getting that court order is the trap.
Correct. And the sources highlight 3 very specific dangers. They list them as public, lengthy, and expensive.
Let's break those down because public really stood out to me. I mean, we share a lot on social media, but financial stuff, that usually feels private.
It should be. But probate files are public record. That means anyone, and I mean literally anyone, can go to the courthouse or just look online and see exactly what you left, who you left it to, and what it's worth.
So if I leave a lump sum to my 19-year-old daughter, that is just out there for anyone to see.
Potentially, yes.
That seems incredibly dangerous.
It is. It opens the door to what the text calls predators. Scammers, aggressive marketers, real estate flippers,
Mhm.
or even long-lost relatives who suddenly appear because they know there's money.
It just removes all privacy when your family is most vulnerable.
Exactly. It's like posting your bank statement on a telephone pole. And the tragic part is it's completely unnecessary. It's just the default if you don't opt out.
Okay, so that's the privacy invasion. Then there's the timeline. The sources say probate is lengthy. What does that actually mean?
Well, in the world of probate, fast is usually measured in months,
Okay.
but often it drags on for years.
So play that out for me. Say a husband passes away unexpectedly. The wife needs money for the funeral or just to pay the mortgage.
If the accounts are solely in his name and they get caught in that trap,
Mm.
she's stuck. She can't access the funds until the court officially appoints her as the representative.
Which takes time.
A lot of time. Filing paperwork, waiting for a court date, waiting for a judge to sign off. And meanwhile,
The bills keep coming.
exactly, the electric company doesn't care that you're waiting on a judge.
Mm-hmm.
So you have families who are asset rich, the money is there,
Yeah.
but they're cash poor because they're locked out.
That's incredibly stressful just to think about. And while you're waiting, the value of the estate is probably dropping because of the third danger. It's expensive.
The drain.
Right. The sources say probate drains assets through fees. Are we talking like a couple $100?
I wish. We're talking about a significant percentage. You have attorney fees, executor fees, appraiser fees, court costs. This system eats away at the very legacy you were trying to leave.
So if I have $100,000 to leave to my kids and it goes through probate,
Yeah.
they are likely not getting $100,000, not even close. A chunk of that is just gone before they see a dime. That is the mess the sources talk about.
It really does frame it as a trap. It just feeds your life savings into a bureaucracy.
Right.
But, okay, I want to pivot here. Because as much as I hate losing money, the part of the source material that really hit me was the emotional side.
The human cost.
Yeah. There's this quote in one of the descriptions about walking alongside families while emotions are raw and the paperwork is a mess. That image is just, it's heavy. It is. We tend to treat this like a financial task, like doing your taxes. But the Claim My Legacy sources, they shift the focus. They argue that a plan isn't really about money. It's an act of empathy.
Empathy. How so?
It's about sparing the people you love from unnecessary stress.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already going through one of the worst times of their lives.
Mhm.
If you add a legal scavenger hunt on top of that, it just breaks people.
There's this one concept in the text that really stuck with me. They call it the spoken wishes fallacy.
Oh, this is a huge one.
It warns, wishes that were only spoken aloud usually can't be honored legally. I can just imagine this scenario. You're at Thanksgiving, Dad is feeling sentimental, and he says, son, when I'm gone, I want you to have the vintage Corvette.
Right. And daughter, you get grandma's ring. Everyone hears it. Everyone nods. It feels like a sacred promise.
But legally?
Legally, it's just air. To a probate court, that conversation is hearsay. If it
Yeah.
isn't written down in a valid will or a trust, the court generally just can't honor it. It has to follow the written law.
And that's where the conflict starts. Because the son thinks, but Dad promised me.
And the law says, the statute says all personal property is divided equally. So now what? Does he have to buy the car from his own siblings? It creates so much resentment.
The sources list family strain as a major consequence. It says uncertainty about what the deceased would have wanted leads to hurt feelings that can last for years.
It creates a vacuum. And when there are no instructions, family members start to project. Mom liked me best. She would have wanted me to have the house. No, Dad promised me. Without your written plan as the referee, the players start fighting. I've seen it destroy families.
That's the real tragedy, isn't it? The money is one thing, but destroying relationships.
That's real loss.
Yeah.
So the expert analysis here is simple. Planning is about removing the burden of decision-making from people who are already suffering. You make the hard choices now so they don't have to fight about them later.
So we've established the problem. It's pretty bleak. But this deep dive isn't just about doom and gloom.
Thankfully, no.
The sources are very solution-oriented. Let's talk about Claim My Legacy. This isn't just some generic national website, right?
No, and that's important. Estate laws vary wildly state by state. Claim My Legacy is specifically focused on Arizona families. They understand the specific probate trap here.
And their main offering is education through these free workshops. Now, I have to be the skeptic for a second. I'm always a little wary of free.
I get the skepticism. But the sources are pretty clear on the intent. The purpose is to teach people how to bypass the government's default plan. It's an educational bridge.
To get you over that barrier of, I can't afford a lawyer just to ask a question.
Exactly. Come in, learn the facts, understand the difference between a legacy and a mess, no strings attached.
And they seem to be really accessible. I'm looking at the list of locations here. Mesa, Scottsdale, Peoria, Glendale, Phoenix,
Chandler, Gilbert, Queen Creek.
Goodyear, Florence. I mean, they're really covering the whole Phoenix metro area.
The goal seems to be meeting people where they are, so you don't have to drive an hour and pay for parking just to get some basic information.
Okay, so if someone's listening and thinking, I need to get on this, how do they do it? The sources give some specific instructions.
They do. The easiest way is probably to search for Claim My Legacy on Eventbrite. That's where they manage the RSVPs.
Eventbrite. Easy enough. Just search the name and see what's coming up.
They also mention checking their social media, Facebook and LinkedIn, for local event listings.
And what if you just want to talk to a person? You know, maybe you have a specific situation, a blended family or something, and want to know if the workshop is right for you.
Yep, there's a phone number, 602-550-7365, and an email, info@claimmylegacy.com.
I also saw one other resource. They have their own podcast called the Claim My Legacy podcast.
I like that as a first step. Maybe you're not ready to walk into a workshop. You can just listen to an episode. It's a low-pressure way to start educating yourself.
So the resources are there. They're free. They're local. So what's the problem? Why doesn't everyone just do this?
Inertia.
The psychology of procrastination.
The source material just hits the nail on the head with this line. Someday has a way of becoming never.
That sounds like a bumper sticker, but it's actually really profound.
It is, because it's true. We always think we have more time. I'll do it after the holidays. I'll do it when I retire. But the problem with the government's plan is that it kicks in the moment you run out of time, ready or not.
It's like musical chairs, and the music just stops.
Exactly.
But I love the approach the sources take here. They don't say you need a 50-page legal binder by Tuesday. That's paralyzing. They talk about first gentle step.
First gentle steps.
Yeah.
I like that phrasing. It lowers the stakes. It makes it feel manageable.
So what can someone do, like, right now?
Step one is just to think. It sounds so basic, but most people skip it. Think about what matters most. What do you want your legacy to reflect? It starts with values, not valuables.
I like that. Before you worry about the legal codes, worry about the outcome you want.
Precisely. Step two is just making a simple list. What do you own and how is it titled?
Titled. What does that mean in plain English?
It just means whose name is on the paper. Is the house in your name alone, or you and your spouse? Is the bank account joint? You can't plan for what you don't know you have.
And your family probably doesn't know about that one savings account you opened 10 years ago.
Exactly. Just writing it down is a massive help. And step three,
Okay.
naming the people you trust to carry out your wishes.
And this is where it gets tricky, right? Because people usually just pick the oldest child.
They do, and that's often a mistake. It's not about tradition, it's about capability. Who is organized? Who is good at managing conflict? The source emphasizes naming the right people, not just the expected ones.
And once you have these basics, values, assets, people, the sources say there are simple legal tools that can keep your family out of court.
Right, it's not rocket science, it's just paperwork. But it has to be the right paperwork. And that's really the synthesis here. A small plan is better than no plan at all.
A small plan is better than no plan. That's a great takeaway, because no plan is still a plan.
Yeah.
It's just the one the state wrote for you.
And it's a pretty terrible one, so it's a choice. Path A is the government's public, expensive probate. Path B is your private, efficient, controlled plan.
And the gateway to Path B, at least for Arizona families, seems to be getting educated. It comes back to that core philosophy from the text. Having a plan isn't really about us. It's about making things easier for them.
That's the mental shift. When you realize this is a final act of care, a final gift to your family, it stops being a chore and starts being a responsibility.
We've covered a lot today, the trap, the solution, the first steps. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you, the listener, with one last thought that really lingers from these sources.
It goes back to that spoken wishes issue.
Right. Think about the promises you've made, the verbal agreements, the don't worry, I'll take care of you statements. If you couldn't speak for yourself tomorrow, would the law actually do what you promised your family today?
It's a heavy question. But if the answer is no, or even I don't know,
Then maybe it's time to look up Claim My Legacy. Check the show notes for the info, or just search for them on Eventbrite. The number is 602-550-7365.
take control, don't leave a mess.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll see you next time.